this has been the hardest time I've had making a video since I started making videos, like, I don't know, 8 months ago? Who knows? Simply because I just didn't want to stop playing the game that it's about. Spider-Man 2 is so much fun, and all I wanted to do was keep playing. Even after I completely 100%ed it, all I wanted to do was swing around and do a bunch of nothing. But I pulled myself away just to make this video because I know a couple dozen of you still enjoy this. So here we go.
Spectacular, 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 spectacular.
I think it was that old dead fart Unky Ben that once said,
Remember, no one man should have all that power.
No, not exactly.
and that's why in this game you're not playing as one Spider-Man, but two Spider-Man. There's 2 times the joy, 2 times the swanging around, and there's 2 webs. I'm talking literally the most webs you've ever seen in your life. You got stock standard milquetoast white boy Peter Parker, who's, I mean, he's a classic. I grew up, reading Spider-Man comics, stomping Koopas, and I have a soft spot for Peter Parker. He may be the boring version at this time, but I still have a lot of love for the original recipe Spider-Man.
Class is back in session.
And then you have the much cooler, hipper Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I think a lot of people have love for him more so now because of the Spider-Verse movies, which they should, because those movies are incredible. But I think this game does a good job at kind of letting you know these are 2 different versions. Like, they don't just try to do the same tropes, especially because different events have happened to each of them. Without getting into too much spoilers, I think they did a good job, or as good as they could have, making Miles as part of the story just as impactful as Peter's. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is more a Peter Parker story than a Miles Morales story. But it's a great balancing act, and it's a great partnership between the 2. So switching between the 2 of them is super fun and actually super quick too. Like, the speed at which you can fast travel and switch characters in this game is kind of nuts, to be honest. I was definitely surprised by that, but this is also the people who made Ratchet and Clank, and the way you just flew through portals in that game was pretty nuts too. So definitely making full use of the PS5 processing power here. Like, I don't know all the specs and stuff to say about that, but definitely feels like a next-gen game. Makes you feel like you're playing a PlayStation 5, so definitely appreciate that. And then the other thing about that is you can feel how much faster you're going. Like, you're gaining momentum and moving so quick when you're swinging around. There is a lot of swing assistance, and you can turn that down. I know people are uploading videos like, look how good a Spider-Man I can be. I could swing in real life if I had to, but for the most part, like, it does a lot of the lifting for you, and that's okay because it looks incredible. Even though some people might call this, style over substance, is talking about the combat or the swinging, I think that's kind of what you want out of a comic book adaptation, is just something flashy and explosive and exciting. Like, I don't need Dark Souls combat in something like this. I'd rather have my, just bread and butter Arkham style combat that looks cool and I don't really have to think too hard about. And at the end of the day, that's what this is. It's the Arkham combat. It's taking those basic principles and, evolving them and adding more to it, so it's just a little bit more fun. That's kind of what Assassin's Creed was doing for a little bit, and to be honest, that's kind of what I wanted out of Mirage and didn't get, so I'm a fan of it. It is very much style over substance in that you don't have to think way too much about, what you're doing or, anything like that. But in this one, I will say, and I was playing on amazing difficulty. I know I've seen some criticism about the AI on the lower difficulties, but I'm built different, so I didn't have to experience any of that. So I was playing on amazing, and yeah, I was catching hands. Like, if I wasn't using like the gadgets and all my combos and all my special moves, like I was getting slapped around, especially when you get to some of the later boss fights. Like, Spider-Man took a few L's during my playthrough, but I somehow managed. And it was just fun, you know. Every time I get to one of those like just random crimes, I always do it because it's just fun to play. And that's kind of the overall vibe of this entire game, is just plain fun. It's fun to move, it's fun to fight, it's fun to, you know, have these nice little moments with all the different characters because you actually enjoy them and appreciate them. And it's fun to be destroyed emotionally when things maybe don't go the way you think, you know, Spider-Man style. Which brings me to my next thing, the story. The story is damn good, I'd say. It didn't blow my tits off like the end of the first one did, but it definitely left me with some emotional damage, as a good Spider-Man product should. This is a Marvel product at the end of the day, so it's going to be chock full of Easter eggs, which of course includes all of the many suits, and I'm not going to spoil them all here because I don't know, that's half the fun of it for me, was finding out which suits were in it and which one I was going to unlock next, so I'm not about to post all those. But there are a ton of great ones, and a couple ones I wish would have been replaced by some of the ones that I like a little bit more from the first game, or ones that haven't shown up at all in any of the games. But, you know, who knows what they're going to add with DLC, because of course they will probably do DLC for this. But the selection that they have is still pretty great. The Yakuza fan in me definitely appreciated all of the random mini games that you do once and then never again, like all the stuff at the carnival and riding a bike, and the spider drone stuff was way more fun than I thought it would be. Like a lot of that little stuff, and especially the puzzles in the first game were kind of tedious, and it just felt like, okay, I just need to get through this. But in this, it was actually kind of fun, just to break up the combat and the swinging with some fun little game. And they even found a way to make the Mary Jane missions not that tedious. Like, you're still sneaking around, but you're not completely useless. Like, you have a stun gun from the beginning. I don't know if that's not a spoiler. Nobody cares. But it was, you know, a breeze. So that was pretty surprising. They pulled that off. So if they can make those missions fun, they can do anything, right? And look, I could go on and on for the next 45 minutes about how much I love this game, and also the damage that it's done to my time management skills. But I don't need to do that. This game is a bop, man, just through and through. It's not even close. I wish I could find something negative to say about it. I mean, obviously there's that little cube bug that I think is actually funny enough that I'm okay with it. You just restart the game and it goes away. But I did do some swinging around as the little square. But really, this game is just made to be fun, and it just executes it. And I think this is going to be the standard for, you know, comic book games moving forward. The Arkham games and this are the pinnacle of what that can be. And I think this is worth anybody's time who has a PS5. And honestly, even if you don't have a PS5, go buy one. Just buy it. Just $500. Just go buy it and then get this, and then tell me how you like it in the comments. Okay, bye.